It's manga time once again, and today we have another exceptional chapter of Bleach. 519 Hot Heat. Sorry, this review is a bit late, but today was really not suited for me to doing a review. But anyway, it starts off exactly where we were before. They're in the Reiokyu, the Spirit Palace. And the bald dude, who for all intents and purposes I'm just going to call Osho, as a couple of people said in the comments last week that he's called Osho. That's what the wiki says. That's what the wiki says. So let's go with it. So Osho says that Ichigo should be revelling in the fact that he's here because ordinary Shinigami don't get to come here. And then Osho says, well, I guess you're not really an ordinary Shinigami, are you? Not alluding to any more than that, but maybe alluding to the fact that Ichigo's a Quincy. Ichigo then remembers correctly that Aizen tried to move heaven and earth just to get here. And he's just been given a free pass. So what the hell's going on? He then questions Osho as to how they got in there without the Oken, the king's key. Osho then shows Ichigo his arm, and he seems to have a scar running down it. Or maybe it's just a shadow, but I think it's actually a scar. And Osho says that the Oken's right here. This is the Oken. It's a power given to the Zero Division, bestowed upon them by the Spirit King. The Oken is literally in their bones. There's two ways to get into the Royal Palace. You either have the Royal Guard's permission, which means you don't need them to be there, they can just will you in, or you can do what Aizen did and attempt to make an Oken, essentially recreating one of the Royal Guards. And then Shutara comes over and says that creating life, assassinating the king, and trying to take the throne as god, Aizen was the personification of evil, which I think is really cool. And all these references to Aizen we've been getting recently really makes me think he's about to come back. Shutara then says to Ichigo not to let his guard down. Although he has faced Aizen, the Quincies are more malevolent and more depraved than Aizen ever was. Another translation said they were more wicked. So the Quincies are still being hyped up to be the ultimate Bleach villains. So then the Yakuza-looking dude with the pompadour hairstyle says, okay, don't move a muscle, get ready to surf the friendly skies. If you even move, you're going to die. And Ichigo sees you on this little platform. And the dude's about to hit this drum, and Ichigo's like, whoa, what are you doing? And the guy's like, sup? And you get this funny banter between the Royal Guards and Ichigo. And Ichigo's like, where am I going? Am I going to meet the Spirit King or what? And the dude's sort of like, well, you don't seriously think you're going to meet the Spirit King, do you? And then he gets slapped from behind by Hikifune. She seems to like doing that to people. And we get a little bit of explanation from Hikifune as to how the outskirts of the Royal Palace work. Where they stand, it is the Spirit Palace, however they are merely in the entrance of the palace. As we suspected last week, the floating cocoon-like pillar in the middle is the Spirit King's residence. And as was speculated, the 5 rings around it each are governed by one of the Royal Guard members, and they get like their own city. So the Yakuza guy says that first things first, they'll be stepping into his city, which is called Kirin, and so he sends them over there. We get a bit of a fan servicey character title page, which is actually kind of cool, purely because we haven't had one for a while, and that may have something to do with the fact that Bleach is regaining its lost popularity in Japan. So we go to the Kirin Palace, and it's Ichigo and the Yakuza guy sitting in this hot spring. And, we get some good backgrounds, and Ichigo's like, this is annoying, what am I doing here? And, the Yakuza guy's really relaxed, and I liked this scene, it was funny, and we got a lot of explanation as well. So Ichigo doesn't know why he's lounging around, and then the dude says that you're getting the hot spring treatment. As he says this, Byakuya's head bobs up from the water, and the dude's like, whoa, it floated up, and he pushes him back down. And Ichigo's like, why are you holding him underwater? He'll drown. Why is he even in here? And then the dude pulls Renji out by his hair like a vegetable, a beetroot or a turnip to be precise. And then Rukia pops up, and everyone's naked. And, you just get this funny banter. And, I do like the Royal Guard's characters, apart from the little black dude with the rings and stuff. He still hasn't even had a line yet. But, yeah, by engulfing them with this water, all the Reiatsu that damaged them is pulled out of them, a bit like drawing venom out of a wound. And then the bloodbath that they've got, when they put them in there, which is so funny. I literally cracked up. The dude just pulls Byakuya's body out, and he's like, "We just move them in there," and he throws him. Byakuya goes flying, and basically they take all of Byakuya's blood out in the first pool, and then they refill it in the blood pool, and they repeat this process over and over and over until there's nothing bad left inside the person who's hurt. And this is the dude's healing method. This is when we get one of the most interesting revelations of the chapter. The guy says, "Are you Urahara's disciple or something?" And Ichigo's like, "Who told you that?" And the guy reveals that the spring in Urahara's underground training center was actually made after Urahara analysed this dude's hot springs. And the guy is called Kirinji Tenjirou, and his title is the Hot Spring Demon. And so that's really interesting, because this means that Urahara, we know he's been to the royal realm, but this means he was quite familiar with them almost. You know, he was in Kirinji's hot springs. Yeah, they keep having a bit of banter, and then we get to see inside the palace, but only very slightly. It's all kind of shadowed, and this guy who has a blindfold on, he asks, "Have you awoken?" And we finally get our first glimpse of the Spirit King. He's a weird looking dude. I have no idea what that just was, but yeah, the Spirit. The Spirit King is a really weird looking guy. He's humanoid, but he has short hair, short black hair. And his eyes are like, they're black, but they have a white cross in the middle of them. Those eyes don't look particularly humanoid. And he's also floating in some kind of suspended animation, like a crystal, which seems to appear from behind a curtain. So while he looks somewhat humanoid, he appears almost alien, and maybe this is why Aizen was like that thing and it rather than the person. But that's when the chapter ends. So again, really good chapter, 10 out of 10 I think. We got so many revelations this chapter. We're learning so much about the Royal Realm already. But I do think it's going to be a little while before Ichigo gets to the actual Spirit King himself. Personally, I think the Spirit King looks a little bit shady. I think he could potentially be a villain, or maybe just not have Ichigo's best interests at heart. But he looks a little dodgy. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the chapter. What did you think? What did you think of the Spirit King? What do you think about how he looks? What do you think of the Royal Guard thinking Aizen's the personification of all evil and the Quincy's are even worse? What do you think of Kirinji Tenjirou? We see a bit more of his character in this one. And, you know, what do you think of the Royal Realm in general? What do you think of the fact that we've got 5 cities to explore, essentially? But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought, and don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Mr1234. And until next time, hopefully I'll get my review out on time next time. But until then, see you later.